Hello everyone, myself Assistant Professor Parthan Mistry from Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. In the last video, we discussed about the maximum power transfer theorem. So today, I deliver a video lecture on another theorem called reciprocity theorem from our chapter number 1, that is network theorems, from our subject electrical circuit analysis, having the subject code of 3130906, semester 3rd, year 2nd, electrical engineering department. Here is the flow of content of our video. First we discuss about the introduction of reciprocity theorem, then the statement of reciprocity theorem, how it will be applicable, its proof. Then we go for the example number 1 and example number 2, and finally we discuss the GTO questions which will be repeatedly asked in your GTO exams. So first we discuss the introduction of reciprocity theorem. Introduction of reciprocity theorem. Reciprocity is a useful property of linear, bilateral, time invariant, and passive networks. The principle of reciprocity implies that the input and output can be interchanged without altering the response of the network to be pre-described input. So in this principle, we can alter or we can interchange the source, but the entire response of the network remains same. The deep discussion we discuss in later slide. Thus, the property of reciprocity is not only helpful in analysis of networks, but also in measurement techniques. So this theorem is also useful in measurement techniques because we interchange the source from one side to another side and the entire response remains same. So it is quite useful for the measurement purpose. Here is the statement of reciprocity theorem. We can explain in these two different manner. The reciprocity theorem states that in linear, bilateral, single source network, the ratio of excitation to response is constant when the positions of excitation and response are interchanged. Again, we will repeat. The reciprocity theorem states that in linear, bilateral, single source network, we have prefer over here single source network, the ratio of excitation to the response is constant when the position of excitation and response are interchanged. Keep in mind that reciprocity theorem is applied to the network who have only one source. So that one source will be interchanged from one branch to another branch, but the response of that particular source to each and every element of the network remains same. So this is the essence of reciprocity theorem. In other words, we can practically write that if any source of EMF E located at one point in a network consisting of linear, passive, time invariant bilateral elements produce a current I at a second point in the network. So initially, what happened if we consider the EMF E, which will be located at any point, and it will be produce a current I to the second point of that particular network. The same source of EMF E acting at the second point. Now we have to keep the EMF source E pick up from one point and put to the second point from where we have to measure the I. So the position of E will be interchanged. E acting at the second point of the same network will produce the same current at the first point. So in second picture, EMF E will be put to the second point and we measure the current to the first point. So in first case, we normally put the current EMF source E at first point and we measure the current at second point. So in both the cases, at the first point and second point, the current will be remain same. So this is the essence of reciprocity theorem. So this is the actual phenomena of reciprocity theorem. Then that is the linear bilateral single source network. The ratio of excitation to response is constant when the position of excitation and the response are interchanged. So here the statement is given that already we have to discuss, but we have note down the 2 points. That first one is that it is important to note that this theorem is applicable only when the circuit has only one source. So this theorem is only applicable to the circuit which has only one source. It is not applicable to the circuit having dependent source. So dependent source we already know that, which will be given like this. So if the circuit having this kind of source, though this theorem will not be applicable. So dear students, let us start the proof of this theorem. On the basis of mesh current analysis with a single voltage source acting in the network, the theorem may be demonstrated by considering the following equation for mesh current I R. So for mesh current IR, we write down the equation like this. If we consider the mesh current IR for different voltage sources such like V1, V2 up to VR source, VS, the S source. So contribution to IR for these different sources. So we can write the equation for IR, that is V1 delta 1R divided by delta Z plus V2 delta 2R divided by delta Z plus and so on, plus VR into delta RR divided by delta Z plus Vs delta SR divided by delta Z and plus and so on. You can use the many more source, infinity source you can use, but for the understanding, we over here we use the Vs and Vr source. So the each and every source contribute the current IR, the fraction of sum of part from that entire current will flow from the IR. So let the only source in the network be Vs. Then the current in the mesh R will be, so the IR equals to Vs into delta SR divided by delta Z. So voltage delta SR. So contribution of the source S towards the current R. So R due to the S we can write that, so delta SR divided by the actual source, that is delta Z. Or we can write that Vs divided by IR, which is equals to delta Z divided by delta SR, or we can write that Z transfer oblique SR. So from the first figure we consider over here voltage source Vs and current IR will be flow due to this Vs. So the equation of IR is Vs into delta SR divided by delta Z, and if we simplify, so we get like this. So similarly for first figure we have to complete the value of IR. Similarly for figure 2, where the same amount of Vs is transferred on right hand side and the contribution of current is named as Is. So whenever the VR is active, the current Is will be flow from the figure number 2, or in, we can say the network N. So similarly the equation for Is becomes like this, that is VR multiplied by delta Rs divided by delta Z, which is quite same as the previous case, and further we simplify, so we get the Vr divided by Is, which is equals to delta Z divided by delta Rs, or we can say Z transfer oblique Rs. So in both the cases we get the value of IR and IS. In terms of the network shown in figure 1 and 2, we make the following observation. In the figure 1, Vs in the S mesh produce the current IR in mesh R. If Vs in S mesh is moved to the mesh R, so that the Vs equals to VR as shown in figure 2. What will be the value of Is under this condition? So our target is to find the value of Is under this condition, because from first case we can see over here Vs is provided over here. So Vs will be interchanged with Vr with the same value, just notification is different. Instead of S we write over here Vr. So contribution of Is. So our target is to find the value of Is, because the value of voltage is same in both the case. We have to just make different the notation of current in both the case. So in later slide we find the value of Is. Principal diagonal and the cofactors, so both are equal because the voltage source, the value of voltage source are equal. So delta SR equals to delta RS, that is provided over here. So value are putted over here. Vs divided by IR equals to Vr divided by Is. So by comparing both the values, why we compare both the values? Because the voltage value is same in both the cases, just notation will be different, so the diagonal are also same. So Vs divided by R and Vr divided by Is. So if Vr equals to Vs, then Is equals to IR. Therefore Is in figure number 2 will be equal to IR in figure number 1. Thus the current in mesh R, which results from a voltage source in mesh S, is the same as the current in mesh S when the voltage source is moved to the mesh R. So it must be noted that the current in other parts of the network will not remain the same. So the entire response will be same, the current response will be same whether you interchange the current voltage source from Vs to Vr. So you get the value of Is equals to IR over here. So this is the essence of reciprocity theorem. So in exam, if the proof is asked for reciprocity theorem, so you should write up to over here. So let us discuss the example number 1 with reference to our statement, so how it will be applicable to the practical circuit, so we can understand the proper solution for your GTU questions. The question is that, example number 1, verify the reciprocity theorem for the network shown in following figure. Make sure that you have only a one source. So over here 20-volt source is given, and you have to find the value of IK, which is given over here, and 5 ohm resistors, 4 ohm, 10 ohm and 6 ohm is given. So first step, suppose that a voltage source of 20 volt in branch AF, this one, cause a current IK to flow in a branch CD. So consider that 20-volt source is feeding the network and IK current is flow due to the 20-volt source in branch CD. So in exam notation is not given. If the notation is not given, so you can write by your own self, that is branch A, B, C, D, E, F, and the current you should put the name from A to Z alphabet. You can use every alphabet, apart from every alphabet you can use, and notation is given by yourself. If it is not given, the current supplied by 20 volt source is, so the total current is given by Ohm's law, V equals to IR, so I equals to V upon R. So V is 20 over here, and the impedance, or we can say equivalent resistance, is 5, because 20 volt source is in series with 5. So the 5 plus parallel combination is done over here. So the 10 is in parallel with 6 plus 4, because these both are in series. So 10 parallel with 4 plus 6. So 20 divided by 5 plus 5. So is equals to 2 ampere we get. So the total current is we get over here, due to the 20 volt source, we get the value of current flowing from the circuit, that is is, that is 2 ampere. So these 2 ampere is divided from this node into two parts. Okay, so this 20 ampere is totally released from the first source, that is 20 volt source, from this direction. Now it will be divided into these two parts. So our target is to find the value of Ik. So how much ampere will be flow from this circuit, because this 20 ampere is divided into this one and this one. So by current divider rule, we can find the value of Ik. Okay, so recall the current divider rule. So Ik equals to, the value of Ik equals to, so the total current entering, that is Is, that is nothing but the 2 ampere, multiply by the resistance which is in parallel. So from 6 ohm and 10 ohm, so both resistance is given. So which resistance is in parallel with the source? So 10 ohm is in parallel, which will be in upward side, or we can say in numerator, and divided by the total source, or we can say the total impedance of the entire branch, the summation of total resistance which is in the denominator. So 10 plus 4 plus 6, so all are added in denominator. It is nothing but the current divider rule. Again I will repeat how it will be made. So the total current will be entering over here, that is is, which will be divided into these two parts. Our target is to find this part, that is nothing but the Ik, which will be denoted by us. So Ik equals to total current Is, that is 2 ampere we find, multiply by the parallel resistance from that branch, from which we have to find the value of Ik. So Ik is flowing from 6 ohm, and in parallel the 10 ohm resistance is given. So 10 ohm will be right in numerator, divided by the total impedance of that particular loop, from where the Ik will be flow. So Ik will be flow from this loop. So the resistance like 10 ohm, 4 ohm and 6 ohm, both are all are added in denominator. So Ik equals to 2 multiplied by 10 divided by 10 plus 10. So by simplification we get the value of Ik, that is 1 ampere. So our final answer is given over here. Our first step is clear. So by keeping the 20 volt source as per the main figure, or we can say on the left hand side, and we find the contribution of 20 volt source through 6 ohm resistance, which is Ik, and Ik will get 1 ohm. So now the voltage source is removed from the branch AF and connected in the branch CD as shown in figure 2. Now this 20 volt source is replaced to CD, and this one is remain short. So figure 2 will be like this. So 20 volt source are from here. So move to right hand side, and we have to find the value of Ij, which must be same as the Ik, then and then this theorem is verified. So let the current Ij will flow in the branch AF. This one is AF. Due to the source of 20 volt acting in the branch CD, our aim is to find the value of Ij. Ij notation is given by us. You can write any notation by yourself. So from figure number 2, current I y equals to, so over here Iy is given over here. So Iy, what is the value of Iy, which will be further divided in these two parts, so this one and this one. So value of Iy we have to find at 20 V upon R, 20 volt divided by 4 plus 6, because both are in series. So 4 plus 6 plus parallel combination from this side, that is 10 plus 5. So the parallel combination of 5 parallel 10 plus 4 plus 6. So 4 plus 6 both are in series because the same loop is considered over here, and 10 parallel 5, 10 parallel 5 we can write over here. So 20 divided by 10 plus 10 divided by 3. So by simplification with calculator we get the value of Iy, that is 3 by 2 ampere. So this 3 by 2 ampere is released by 20 volt source from this direction and at point B. So current will be divided and we have to find the value of Ij. So by current divider rule, Ij equals to total current Iy, that is 3 by 2 ampere. So 3 by 2 will be written over here, multiply by the resistance which is in parallel with that particular branch. So the parallel resistance with respect to Ij, that is nothing but our 10 ohm. So the 10 ohm will be right in numerator divided by the total resistance through that branch. So total is 5 plus 10. So divided by 5 plus 10. So 10 divided by 10 plus 5. So we get the value of Ij equals to 1 ampere, set equation number 2. So from 1 and 2, Ij equals to Ik equals to 1 ampere. So reciprocity theorem is verified, we can say that, because in both the cases we get the value, that is 1 ampere, by changing the voltage source, that is 20 volt. So in this case the reciprocity theorem is verified. Now we discuss the example number 2 with such a different configuration. The question is that by applying the reciprocity, by applying the principle of superposition and reciprocity, find the current through 1 ohm resistor in the circuit shown in below figure. So dear student, as we discussed in first example, reciprocity theorem is only applicable to the source, only one source which is given in the circuit. But in this case, the two source is given. But in question, ask that the principle of superposition, by applying principle of superposition, we have to apply superposition principle also, and reciprocity. So in this case there is a two different configuration we get. First we go for the 10 volt source and then we go for the 5 volt source. So let us start the example. So let us first consider the 10 volt source alone in the circuit. So 10 volt source is considered as alone in the circuit and we have to modify the figure. So the 5 volt source is short circuited as per the superposition principle. If the current source is given, then it will be open circuited, and if the voltage source is given, then it will be short circuited if you consider a particular voltage source. So figure will be like this, figure number B. So the current we have to find the value of this current I, which will be given in your main figure, which will flow from the 1 ohm. So the current Ix, so in this case I will be termed as Ix, which will be given over here. So current Ix will be flow when 10 volt source is considered, that is V upon R, 10 divided by 4 plus 2 parallel 10, because both are in parallel from this point. So 4 plus 2 parallel 10. So Ix will be 10 divided by 4 plus 2 divided by 3. So by using calculator we can get the answer Is equals to 15 divided by 7 ampere. So we get the value of Ix, but our target is to find the value which will flow from B to C, that is nothing but our I. So IBC we have to find. So the current through the branch BCD, so the current through the branch BCD, which is find by due to 10 volt source alone, is IBC equals to total current Ix multiply by the resistance which is in parallel. So parallel resistance is 2 ohm divided by 2 plus 1. So the total resistance of this loop, so 2 plus 1 we get. So simply here the current divider rule is applied as per we applied in previous case, example number 1. So 15 divided by 7 multiplied by 2 by 3, which is equals to 10 divided by 7 ampere. So IBC equals to 10 divided by 7 ampere we get in this case. So if we consider the 10 volt source alone, we get the value of current, that is 10 divided by 7 ampere. So for 10 volt source configuration is complete over here. Now by say reciprocity theorem, the same 10 volt source operating in branch BCD with the same polarity would produce the same current of 10 by 7 ampere through the short circuit the branch AD as shown in figure. So 10 volt source from this side, now it will be come towards the this side, and we have to measure the current from branch AD. So in this case the 5 volt source is also short circuited, because we have to interchange the value of 10 volt source by keeping 5 volts short circuited. Okay, so by calculating the value of IAD equals to IY multiply by 2 divided by 2 plus 4. So 2 divided by 2 plus 4, simple current divider rule, which is nothing but the IY by 3. So IAD equals to IY by 3, but IAD equals to 10 by 7 ampere, that we have to already find. So IY equals to 30 divided by 7 ampere. So in this case we get the value of IY, that is 30 divided by 7 ampere. So we get the value of IY, that is 30 divided by 7 ampere. This implies that a source of 10 volt in branch BCD would cause a current IY 30 divided by 7 ampere to flow through 1 ohm resistor. So dear students clearly understood this sentence. So what this sentence actually say, that this implies that a source of 10 volt in branch BCD would cause a current IY 30 divided by 7, would cause the current IY, which is 30 divided by 7 ampere, to flow through a 1 ohm resistor. Therefore, by linearity, a source of 5 volt in the same branch would cause a current ICB equals to 1 half IY. Why? Because instead of, if we consider 5 volt over here the 10 volt is given and we find the value of 30 divided by 7. If we consider 5 volt means half of the 10 volt. So the current will be also half. So total current IY by 2 we can write easily over here if we consider 5 volt source. So that statement written over here, therefore by linearity a source of 5 volt in the same branch would cause a current ICB equals to 1 half IY. So 1 half multiplied by 30 divided by 7. So 15 divided by 7 ampere to flow through 1 ohm resistor. So in our main figure there is a two source first of all, 10 volt and 5 volt. So for 10 volt contribution we achieve over here 30 by 7. So for the 5 volt we can directly write that half of the 10 volt contribution it will be achieved. So half of the 10 volt, that is 1 half of IY, that is 15 by 7 ampere through the 1 ohm. Therefore by applying superposition theorem, the 5 volt source in branch BCD and 10 volt source in branch AD operating simultaneously would cause a current capital I equals to ICB minus IBC, that is 25 divided by 15 divided by 7 minus 10 divided by 7, that is total current is I equals to 5 by 7 ampere. So by applying superposition theorem, now we get the value of current I for 10 volt source also and for 5 volt source also. So for the 10 volt source the value we get, and for the 5 volt source the value we get, that is 15 by 7. So 15 by 7 minus 10 by 7, so total current I, the difference for current is 5 by 7 ampere we get over here using this principle. So in the normal condition if we apply KVL, so we must get the value of I, that is 5 by 7 ampere. So in next case we do that. Thus the current 5 by 7 ampere flows through a 1 ohm resistor from C to B. Okay. So consider the figure number 1, our first figure. By considering both the voltage source, 10 volt source and 5 volt source, if we apply KVL, then we get the value of 4I1 plus 2 I1 minus I2 minus 2 plus charging mode direction is in negative to positive, so minus 10 equals to 0. By simplifying we get the value, that is 6I1 minus 2I2 which is equals to 10. Say it equation number 1. Similarly in figure A, our first figure, so in loop 2 I2 will be flow and apply the KVL, so the equation get I2 plus 5 plus 2 into bracket I2 minus I1, because contribution of 2 is in loop 2 and loop 1 also. So in loop 2 the majority current is I2, so the I2 minus I1 we have to write over here, which is equals to 0. So by further simplification we get the value of minus 2I1 plus 3I2 which is equals to minus 5. Say it equation number 2. So by Cramer method we find the value of I2. So the delta we get 6 minus 2 minus 2 3, 18 minus 4 which is equals to 14. So the I2 will be 6 minus 2 10 minus 5 divided by delta which is equals to minus 5 by 7 ampere. So I2 we get minus 5 divided by 7 ampere. So now friends we recall our first figure, that is I2 will be flow in this direction in clockwise, whereas in your main diagram I will be given in anti-clockwise direction. So I2 equals to minus I we can write. So we get the value of I2 will be negative. Okay. So I2 equals to minus I we can write that. So in this case also I equals to minus I2 we can write. So minus of minus 5 by 7 we get the plus 5 by 7. So hence we get the value of 5 by 7, that is I equals to 5 by 7 will be flow from 1 ohm resistor, which will be same in the previous case. So in previous case the 5 by 7 we RC over here, and in this case we get the 5 by 7 for the I. So both the current value are same. Here x equals to y, hence this theorem is proved, reciprocity theorem is proved over here. So by applying reciprocity principle and by superposition principle, we get the value of I, that is 5 by 7 ampere in both the cases when we interchange the 10-volt source and 5-volt source simultaneously. So if this question is asked in G2 exam, you should write all these things and finally you get the answer, that is 5 by 7 ampere. So dear students, these are the GTU questions. State and explain reciprocity theorem. This question is asked in GTU November 2009 for 3 marks. State and explain reciprocity theorem, GTU December 11 for 7 marks. You should write all proof with reference to diagram. Then state and explain reciprocity theorem and Norton's theorem. This question is asked in GTU Journal 2015 for 7 marks. So you have to write the entire proof in this question. So these are the GTU questions which will be repeatedly asked in your GTU exam. Thank you.